Hi, everybody. This is Adam Elenbaas from Nightlight Astrology, and these are your horoscopes for the month of August 2019. So this is the Sun and Rising sign horoscope for Aquarius. Now, the month really gets started prior to August 1st, July 31st. There's a new moon in Leo that is really toning the astrology of August. So that new moon happens in your seventh house, happened on July 31st, happened already, and it also happens in a square to Uranus and Taurus in your fourth house. And just as Venus in the sign of Leo is also making a square to Uranus and Taurus. So this is pretty eventful because, first of all, it's placing a huge amount of focus on the seventh house, which is the house of marriage and relationships, or anything that you happen to be deeply absorbed in to the point where you may sort of lose yourself. So that sense of absorption into the other in a very general way, or relationships in particular, even marriage, really a big focus this month. A lot of newness, a lot of new developments, but you also have to be careful because Venus squaring Uranus, there could be, sometimes that's ripe for separation and breakups. So potentially some challenges in relationships may be related to independence or freedom, or the theme of women's empowerment or feminism with Venus square Uranus. Also doing or saying something that's sort of provocative, sexual experimentation, issues around sexual or gender identity. So these are issues that can come up throughout the entire month, but you might see them especially powerful in the first couple of days of the month. The other thing that can, a new moon generally just means new growth, new development. Something is blossoming eventually that's seeded around this time in the house of marriage. Sometimes that happens within the moon cycle. Sometimes it takes even a little bit longer, but you should start to notice some things shifting in that relationship area this month. Now, the square to Uranus is in the fourth house of home, family, roots, property, parents. And so you may also be experiencing something of a shakeup around your home, your living environment, and love and relationships, and the need to break free, have greater independence, the themes of rebellion, etc. So watch for that with Venus square Uranus too here right around the beginning of the month. Okay, so additionally, we see some themes developing with Venus and the Sun in Leo coming into about August 6th to the 8th. You're going to see Venus and the Sun in Leo going through trines to Jupiter in Sagittarius. Now that happens right between, again, the August 6th and 8th window. And generally speaking, this is very positive. Jupiter is about to turn direct on August 11th. And that should bring about a positive turn of events, or sort of the momentum shifting in your direction in some way. Jupiter's in the house of friends, allies, benefactors, groups, colleagues. This could be a time where socially things are really clicking. You're meeting people. If you're single, you might be meeting someone new this month. If you're in a relationship, social connections that come through your spouse or significant other could be really nice. This is the kind of thing where if you're looking for a job, maybe your partner's friend has a job for you. This could also be the kind of thing where just generally meeting people who may be beneficial to you in some way professionally, that could be a part of it. But generally, the overall theme would be support and positive connections being made in relationships, maybe with the tendency toward some group involvement, group activity, larger organization. Maybe also you have to watch a little bit for aggrandized egos and things like that with the Sun in a trine to Jupiter, which can kind of inflate the ego. So it gets kind of grandiose and puffed up. So watch for that, and the way that kind of ego energy might be a little bit disruptive this month, and there may be a little bit more of a chip on the shoulder. So don't let that infect your relationships, especially. Now, when we get up to about August 11th, then what happens is Venus starts moving into conjunction with the Sun. That's a cazimi, and that's a kind of rare thing within the synodic cycles of the planets with the Sun. They come into this exact conjunction with the sun. The planet becomes greatly empowered when that happens. So you can see this on the 12th, on the 13th, it's still there. On the 14th, it's just separating. This is really nice. It's just kind of really, everything just kind of feels really, just kind of, it's a time where Venus, goddess of beauty, harmony, friendship, love, creativity, the arts, etc., is very empowered in the house of relationships and love. And so a spouse or a partner could have a really significant month. Relationships in general for you could be very significant, with deeper truths being shared and a deeper empowerment happening in your relationship in some way. The other thing that you want to watch for, of course, is just empowered women coming into your life. Venus at Cazimi is like Oprah has that, for example, just kind of like this, just really sort of empowered, feminine figure of Venus Cazimi. So think about, just the empowered goddess kind of making her presence known around the 10th to the 15th, right in there. Then on the 15th, it's a full moon in your first house in your home sign of Aquarius. That's putting self and other into a dynamic conversation. It's really emphasizing you in a process that you're going through. Your ruling planet, Saturn, been in the 12th house for a little while now. You're really looking for yourself. You're in between worlds. You might be needing some time alone, or you might be really questioning who you are, in contrast to all of this emphasis being placed on relationships. And that could peak and be a little, intense around the full moon on the 15th. On the 18th, it starts, we start a little Virgo party. Mars goes into Virgo on the 18th. And then watch this. Then we've got, here we go. We've got Venus going into Virgo. Then we've got the sun going into Virgo. Then on the 29th, Mercury goes into Virgo. And on the 30th, we have a new moon in Virgo. Huge lineup of planets moving into your 8th house at the very end of the month, from the 18th to the 30th. Now, the interesting thing here is that this new moon at the end of the month will then tone September, just like the Leo new moon at the end of July tones August. So the Virgo energy starts coming in and creating a momentum that just starts going in a very different direction from the 7th house emphasis that is dominant all the way up till about the last third of the month, from the 20th, say, forward, right around when Mars goes into Virgo. So the interesting thing is that this makes the 8th house really active. And the 8th house is, of course, a house that is related to death. It's also related to karmic bills, and it's related to other people's money and income and resources, and sometimes contracts or taxes or penalties. So there could be a bit of a bill due at the end of the month, or by the end of the month, you might be trying to deal with something that's a little, it's like, well, my past actions led me to this, and now I've got to kind of deal with the consequences. That would be the heavier interpretation. The 8th house can also just generally pertain to a spouse or partner's money or income or finances being important somehow, good or bad. It's hard to say, maybe a little bit of both. On the other hand, the 8th house also has a lot to do with the issue of dependency in relationships. And so that topic of just independence versus dependence could be very strong. And we notice this because also there's an opposition from all those planets to Neptune in your 2nd house, which is the house of your own money and your own finances. So maybe getting clear about your boundaries, both emotionally, financially, what and probably trying to create some healthier, more organized, clearer, more rational sense of where your boundaries lie. So that's coming again towards the end of the month. So that's what I've got for you, Aquarians. Tell me how your month goes. I'd love to hear from you. And I look forward to talking to you again for September's horoscopes. Take care.